All right, this is 207 Ryoanji in Kyoto, Japan in the Muromachi period, made in 1480. It is a rock garden. It has 3 images, and let's look at it. The context is that it's unclear who made this or when. Um, it's likely not made by Buddhist monks. Underneath one of the 15 rocks in this garden, there's some marking that leads us to believe that it was probably like a professional garden design team. And though it has evolved into a garden that is used and maintained by Buddhist monks. The context is that Chan, or Zen Buddhism, you probably know it as, moved from China into Japan. And meditation is a part of all Buddhist, well, most faiths, and more so even in Zen Buddhism. And so in Zen Buddhism, we associate kind of the nature and uh, gardens and dewy paths as avenues to help reach nirvana, to help reach enlightenment, to help meditate. And so you might come across this is a famous fountain here where you can wash your hands. And it has the saying alongside that I am content with what I am. Out of Chinese characters, I have a paperweight of this on my desk, and a Zen Buddhist monk meditating. And then here we are in front of this massive bronze Buddha statue, similar to the one at Todaiji. This one's outside, but its hand is held in the meditation mudra, so open on his lap. So meditation, key part of Zen Buddhism, and thus an important part of the focus of Ryoanji. So these are all images from Ryoanji. It is a complex, you can see that from this map, comprised of many buildings and gardens. These spaces are gardens, and the pond is a garden. So an entry gate, probably with heavenly kings. Here are some gardens to walk through, walk down these paths to meditate. And then the tea ceremony is also a part of Zen Buddhism, particularly. So this is a tea ceremony room, and here I am partaking of a tea ceremony. So form the pond here, the pond is in gray, and this is our image of the pond, and it has 2 islands that peep into it. And, ponds are reflective spaces, meditative spaces. They're very filled with nature. So you could walk around this pond and you would see images like you see here below. And these help us to focus on nature and get us to meditate more easily. Other form is we have this meditation garden, this rock garden, and it is surrounded by a terracotta or clay, like the clay pots that you use to put plants in. And this clay wall has been allowed just to age over time. So it's got a very nature feel to it. And then the trees just kind of peep over the wall. And this keeps it very simple. And we have raked gravel here with 15 rocks that are either single, like this one, or grouped in groupings of 2 or 3. And that raking of gravel, Ryoanji is not the only rock garden. This is another that I saw in Japan. Deeper, seems like, wow, a lot to manage. And this is just kind of a close-up of how deep these rock gardens can be. In terms of content, people visiting this rock garden sit on this side, and so much like this single person right here. And from this platform where you sit, you cannot view all 15 of the rocks at once. Perhaps that's a metaphor for your own or our own movement toward enlightenment and nirvana and perfection. And some think that the white rocks symbolize waterfalls, rivers, creeks, or sea, and that the rocks here are placed in islands. It's all up to anyone's guess about what exactly you want to make out of that, what metaphor you want. And then in terms of content, on one of these islands jutting out into the pond that is our image, there is a shrine honoring the spirit of music and creativity. Also, a part of Zen Buddhism is art, calligraphy, and music. So the function of Ryoanji is to provide an environment for study and for meditation. This is a complex, as you see in this line drawing, and there are just lots of spaces here, lots of opportunity to meditate, to reach enlightenment. But there are also spaces that are voids where we look and there's kind of nothing. And that is an invitation to us to look inward then rather than outward to find our own enlightenment. So that's Ryoanji, found in Kyoto, Japan during the Muromachi period, possibly made around 1480 CE, and it is a rock garden.